You're not coming in and out. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so that's still. I know it's live. All right, let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Trying to get good composition of my view. All right, where's my live chat? There it is. Oh, the thing's still in the way. But it's really good for lighting. I see you. Look at her. Oh, I got 4 people here. I'm still getting set up. Not that I'm a procrastinator. Maybe a little. Better? Can you see me now? All right. I actually gotta move this. So if you're here, say hello. I set my alarm today so I wouldn't miss the live stream. How's Florida weather going? It is hot. My poor Idaho friends are cooking, to say the least. They are sweltering. Sorry, I gotta go off. Anybody know I'm picking my nose? Well, you can know I'm picking my nose. I just don't want you to see it. Hello, Deborah Cook. Okay, so I'm gonna do some shout outs until Tangi gets here. So shout out your channel. And remember, hello, Mama Cat. Hello, Angela. I will tell you, I know for sure Southwind Technical Academy is a great channel. So is the Mama Cat. She's doing a lot of cooking. So remember, you can always right click on the names and it will let you like, Deborah, I'm gonna go and subscribe to you even though you've got no subscribers. Angela, I'm doing the same for you. So I'm gonna make sure today that I am getting subscribed. Y'all go over there and subscribe to Mama Cat. She's got 36 subscribers and she's putting out some pretty darn good videos. This one in Quiet Talk Times, yes. Faith Fries and Frappies. How come I thought I was subscribed to you? All right, now I'm subscribed to you. Good morning. Good morning. Sending the love out. All right, so I've got you guys here so far. How did you like that title? Should we exercise or not? I don't have a channel. That's okay. If you ever decide to make videos, I will know about it. Living Like Claire, y'all need to make sure you're subscribing to her. Y'all watching from the dentist office. That is so funny. All right, again, go over there and give subscribe to Mama Cat. Subbed, I will be binge watching while I work today, so this gives me something new to check out. Got to love it. I know. Okay, I'm not going to lie. So, well, I never lie. But, well, I try not to lie. I don't knowingly lie. I'm not a fabricator. I'm an indulger for the story's sake, but not a liar. Anyways, but like I say, I'm not going to lie. I have gotten back into my digital scrapbooking and I've been going crazy. So then I've been just, oh my goodness, that's so funny. All right, so I've just been digital scrapbooking. I've been like engrossed as I listen to videos. Claire, I do agree with April there. Don't type under the influence of nitrous. I have to go to the dentist tomorrow. Oh. Thank you. And then shut the door. Good morning, Miss Catherine. We're doing shout outs to channels. Remember, you can, I'm moving to places I don't want to go. I'm not meaning to do that. But we are, where's my chat? There it is. We are giving shout outs to subscribers or to channels. Put it that way. We're doing shout outs. So Living Like Claire is another great channel. She is young ladies, but full of good stuff. full of good stuff. Southwind Technical Academy, the Mama Cat, Faith and Frappes. So all you have to do is run your cursor over that, and it will show, and then you can go on there and you can subscribe. I have a dental exam tomorrow, not tomorrow, next week. And I'm having, you know, my husband has hard on today, so Trish don't get yelled at. Ha ha ha. Got headphones on today, so Trish doesn't get yelled at. Thank you, kids. Don't yell at me. I do talk loud. My husband complains all the time that I am loud. Look, Tangi's here.
Good morning. Hang on. Sideways.
We're doing a little fun shout outs.
Oh.
Before we get started on our channels. So make sure, again, Faith, Fries and Frappes, Living Like Claire, Southwind Technical Academy, and the Mama Cat. Good morning, Heather. Heather, you got 8 videos. She is a Trim Happy Heather. Her weight loss journey uses Trim Healthy Mama Plan. Y'all go over there and subscribe to Miss Heather also. And then we have Mindy. Mindy, are you doing any videos? We're doing some shout outs this morning. I got Facebook again, but deleted it in less than 24 hours. I got it so I can do the groups. I had anxiety like I haven't had in years right after I made the account. Oh, Mama Cat, that's okay. When you're ready, we're here for you. We're here. It'll be good. And don't do things that cause anxiety. I actually did good today. I made my video earlier.
Oh,
that's
really?
pretty. Yes, I made my video earlier. So I think I'm fuzzy. I thought I had all my light good. I had good lighting, and now I don't feel like I have good lighting again. Let's see. All right, y'all keep talking. Say good morning. I'm going to change my lighting a little bit.
Okay. I'm pulling in YouTube. I'm slow this morning. The last couple of nights we've had some suspicious activity in our neighborhood and caused for less sleep. So good morning, everybody. Good morning, Miss Heather, Living Like Claire, Faith, Fries and Frappes, Mindy, the Mama Cat. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Catherine. I gotta scroll up. Good morning, Southwind Tech. Good morning, Angela and Deborah. How's everybody doing this morning? I made a smoothie this morning for breakfast, and it has kind of an off taste. And I think it's because I read in the Trim Healthy Mama book that you can put cottage cheese in your smoothie if you don't have protein powder. And it's so, I don't know if that's what it is. It's throwing the taste of my.
Wait, which cottage cheese did you use? Where'd you get it from? The Aldi's?
I don't remember.
I found Aldi's to be too salty.
Well, it's kind of tangy is the flavor I'm picking up on. So I don't know.
Hi, good morning, Jess. I don't know if she said good morning. I took my ears off, and then I started making funny faces when Tangi wasn't looking. Or when Tangi could see me, but none of you could.
Okay, I gotta get my ears.
All right. I'm doing another shout out. Mama Geek TV. She's got 28 videos. She's making videos about her journey to a better lifestyle and better health. Shout out to Mama Geek. We have kids with ickiness and insomnia. So, of course, Mama's the go-to expert at 2 a.m. And I've been spending the last few nights, I have a baby teething. 2-year-old Molar's coming, and she's back there just, and man, she is just fidgety, kicking. I mean, if the child can have restless leg syndrome, the kid has it. She's just kicking. And so I spent half the night on the couch, then half the night with my husband, and half the night on the couch. So here we go. It is 8:30. So again, I'm going to do another big round of shout outs for my early getter-uppers. The Mama Cat, the Southwind Technical Academy. I want to say trade. Southwind Technical Academy. Mama Geek TV.
Just distracted. She's in our Mama Gets Fit group, and she just started her channel, I think like yesterday. And she has a really fun personality. So you guys go over there and check her out. She's great.
Yes, subscribe to her. Faith Fries and Frappes. And then Living Like Claire. So when you scroll over their names in the chat, you can right click and subscribe them. Mm-hmm. And then we have Amanda Mason showed up. Amanda Mason's got 20 videos, and she's I'm a mom of 5 children with a 13-year age gap between the young. Yes, my interests are wide and varied: motherhood, weight loss, health, and frugality. So make sure that you subscribe to Amanda Mason.
Good morning, Simply Circus.
Hello, Simply Circus. Big family, small house, total chaos. Go subscribe to her. We have Christine just made it. She doesn't have any videos, but I'm subscribing to everybody so I can make sure I get you when you do come in and make videos. So good morning, ladies. Good morning. All right, I subbed to all that I wasn't already subbed to. Good deal. All right. So today we are talking about whether to exercise or not. I am sorry. Look, I got that crazy light. I got the weirdest lamps. I hope that helps. I'll use my big head with my big mouth. Anyway, get a better angle. So it's all about, do we exercise or need we not exercise? That is today's topic. So let's start out with and Tangi and I have not talked a lot, but she's been having like a killer successness. Is that a word, successness?
I think you just made it a word.
Hashtag Trish makes up her own word. So, how was your New Year's? We haven't talked much. I'm like, oh.
I know. You've been a busy mama. So my New Year's was great. New Year's Eve, we were supposed to get together with some friends, but they called like right before we were fixing to walk out the door, and somebody in their bunch was throwing up. So we ended up staying in, and we ordered pizza, ladies. Pizza. And I was like, that's okay, because we had the husband had also stopped and picked up some stuff for me to make dip, just like the packet of ranch dressing, and I mixed it with not that yogurt. And I was going to take vegetables with me, so that way I knew I would have something that I could munch on while we were over there, and that I wouldn't, that I could get full on that and not be too tempted to go astray. So anyway. So I had that, and then there was also Doritos, and there was pizza. But I had pizza, and I had veggies and dip, and that person is going bye-bye.
That one. Thank you. I was like, okay, I need to learn how to ban these people, but thank you. I have to say, like, looking at you, you are looking pretty fantastic.
Well, thank you. Yeah, are we gonna do wait now or later? We'll
do it in we got 4 minutes until we start wait. I have like a step. We actually are managing a routine. So, but
yes,
we're doing good.
We're doing good.
It's totally on
track. And I worked out for the first time yesterday in years, and I plan on working out again today. So pretty excited. I enjoy it.
All right. Hello, Selena. I hope I said your name right.
Good morning, Indigo.
Made it. Make sure you click over on Indigo and subscribe. Indigo, we are doing shout outs as y'all come in. I ran into just being busy, and I really talk about that on today's Weight Loss Wednesday, is just the chaos, and it really giving me a mental clarity, and going back to those seasons in life where things are chaotic. And when things are chaotic, it's hard to get on your plan, to be on the plan and get a grip, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So, all right. So let's just jump into tell us your victories this week. How has your victories been going into the new year? Scale or non-scale? And I'm going to totally let Tangi take the floor on this one, because she's
yeah. Well, this morning when I got on the scale, I was hoping for a good number. But then when I saw the number, I was kind of like, whoa, that's a little more of a weight loss than what I thought I would have. But it was 185.8. So I've lost 4.5 pounds this week, and I don't want anybody to flip out. I promise I have been eating all of my points and sometimes going a little over. And I was telling Trish this morning, I said, I feel like it's kind of an indicator of how poorly I was treating myself before I started counting points. The fact that I was able to maintain an almost 200-pound weight for as long as I have, and then okay, now I'm switching gears and I'm measuring my food and I'm keeping track of my points, then, and the weight's just coming off. I mean, I don't know what else to say other than that just seems what's happening, but I promise I'm not starving myself or anything like that. So please be rest assured that I love to eat way too much to not eat. But yeah, so it's really exciting. And, just the fact that clothes are fitting better is a good thing. And
well, are you waking up in the morning and finding yourself like, wow, my face changed overnight. My face looks different.
Yeah. Well, every time I, do a video or something and I'm looking in the camera and I'm like, wow, it looks so different. And also last night, when I was laying on my stomach in bed, I just kind of felt like I was closer to the mattress, if that makes any sense. And I was like, wow, there's not as much of me between my spine and the mattress, I guess. But yeah, and then like when my husband holds me, like I feel closer to him because there's less of my stomach to separate us, I think.
No, I think that's awesome. I had those in seasons where it has been just, I have a little toddler acting like a toddler. She's got it. Look, she's shutting the door. There she goes. Oh, got to get in. But just where like my face would change. And then I kind of run into a lot of people will see me and they're like, okay, enough. I'm already getting like, you've lost enough. And I'm kind of like, but I still have the hi, goodbye. Not that it's that bad, but in certain places, especially, and I'm like, listen, I've got some hidden fat you don't know about. I do kind of want to get that taken care of. But when you really get into the groove and your body is responding to the way you're treating it, it is like, it just starts dropping. It seriously starts dropping. And people are like, are you eating? You're like, you got no idea how much I'm eating. I'm eating so much. And I've always found like the more you eat, those low point, lots of vegetable diets where you're really loading into the diets, you are loading in the vegetables in your daily meal and just trying to consume volumes for your points, you will drop it fast. It just melts off.
Yeah. And I like how you said that. And that's really what I've been trying to do is treating my points like money. Like, how can I get more bang for my food buck? And so it's like, I eat a lot of celery, and most of you guys, I'm sure you know that it takes more calories to burn off celery than there is actually in the celery. And so, all of my meals, like last night, well, actually my daughter made we had venison taco soup. And so I was kind of supervising. I'm like, okay, throw some onion in there. Okay, throw some peppers in there. Okay, put a little bit more water in there. Trying to bulk it up with as much 0 point foods as I could.
So I want to say April there at Southwind Technical Academy says she has now gotten to the point where she can shrink into her children's clothes that they outgrew, which is awesome. My husband's having a hard time. He's like, I don't know whose shirt this is. And I'm like, yeah, he doesn't know if it's mine or my daughter's. And my daughter's still such a tiny thing.
That's awesome.
Mama Cat is up to drinking more water. I know we had a definite question in Facebook. Oh. Let's just go to Non-Scale Victory. All the awesome mamas that have gotten in front of the camera. You make me cry. Okay, so I'm the worst about being able to comment a lot of times. But I've been going through the Facebook group, and I mean, just crying at just how amazing you guys have been. And you're getting in front of the cameras. And some of you, I can see the look of your face of just like, this is not what I'm going to do, but I'm doing it. And
right.
then,
yeah, one of the mamas, she even, she said she almost didn't do it. She really didn't want to put it out there. but and it made me think of what you told me that day that I called you, and I'm like, I'm done. You're like, take a picture, take it now, because this is the last day that you're going to look like this. And
you need to have that thing to compare it to.
Yes. Well, and that's what I told her. I said, when I got to a 9-pound weight loss, I could tell a little bit, but then when I did this side by side, holy cow, who knew that 9 pounds would be such a huge difference?
Huge difference. And, you really need that comparative. I know that there's a mama that she doesn't get on the live show. She's in the Facebook and she's silent. She's a really good friend of mine, and I put her in there. And she goes, here I'm being encouraged by all these moms that are putting their picture up. She goes, I took my picture and I looked at it, I took it down. I deleted it. I couldn't even post it. And let me promise you, it's a state of mind. It's not her body. Mm-hmm. It is strictly a state of mind. And, and that is hard to overcome. But, just realize, even though you're like, all I did was put my picture up, you are such an encouragement to every other mom. It's not just the Tangi and Trish show. Right. It really is all of us. And that's one of my favorite things I am loving about being in the Facebook group. Even though I'm not a big chatter in the Facebook group, when the kids are gone, I get on there and I Facebook. But when the kids are amongst, I don't have the ability to give a clear thought to talk. So I'm so thankful Tangi's always on that.
I feel like I live there. Oh, me. So Amanda said her non-scale victory is surviving the stomach flu on top of early pregnancy. Well, glad that you survived. Hopefully everybody else is staying healthy.
I had one time I ended up with the stomach flu being pregnant. I think it was like, Amanda, I was 7 months pregnant. Let me just tell you, when you are 7 months pregnant, your body is not designed to vomit.
No, no, I got the stomach virus when I was pregnant with my daughter, and I was like just probably 3 or 4 months along, and it was scary because you don't know what's happening, and that there's really not a lot you can do to protect your baby, and it was
and you're just trying to move out of the way as your body does things, and like there's no way to get out of the way.
Right.
Sodbuster just got in. Sodbuster Living. Definitely go and subscribe to her channel too. And if I missed
towards the coffee, that's funny.
As she's crawling towards the coffee. So remember to right click and check out those that are commenting, and if they have videos, to make sure you're subscribing to bring the love back. Back on track, counting points started December 31st. Good job, Christina. No one else got sick. Good job, Amanda. What else? There's lots. I'm just starting today, so lots to learn. Selena, go back to our very first video and start by journaling your food and knowing what you eat. That's the very first place. No matter what diet plan you do, just make sure you know what you're eating. And because then you get an idea of what you gravitate towards and how to fix it and what you're lacking. So you don't know how to fix what you don't know what you do. So Deborah, you went to Tops. What is a Tops? I'm a little sheltered. I don't know what Tops is. Somebody tell me.
Good morning, Amanda from the Fundamental Home.
Yay.
We're sharing our victories, non-scale and on the scale. I've been using my fitness planner. That's awesome, Mama Cat.
I want to show Amanda. I have the Frugal Family Food video for Friday. But look, I made really cute recipe cards. So you'll be able to download those with my video and put them on like a photo. But definitely go join the Family Frugal Food on Facebook if you have a Facebook. So I will tell you my non-scale victories. You like the face? It was bad. I had a rough week, a seriously rough week. Not enough sleep. I want to say partying, but it wasn't partying, but just being overly social, kind of a lot of chaos. And I had a hard time. I kept falling. One of my big problems is a lack of sleep. And then not eating, because that destroys you when you're not eating. And then I started craving sugar and just running around being crazy. And so I'm not eating. And then when I do eat, I'm eating sugar, I'm eating junk. I'm not satisfied. I feel bloated. So I think last week sometime I was around 152, which was like, I am almost there. And sometime, and then of course it was Shark Week. Y'all know it's Shark Week. And you start craving the weird stuff. I got up to 157 point, I think yesterday was 157 point something. And I was having one of those that I was like, I'm not sure if this is Shark Week edition. I'm not sure if this is just a momentary bloat. I'm not sure if I've just put some crazy stuff on my body. And I'm feeling pretty thrilled because today I was back to 154. So yay, I recovered from this crazy weight up and down thing over the last 7 days since I talked to you last and got there. And just what I like about it, hey, good morning, Jackie. Is that him in the background?
Yes. Yeah, he's getting ready to go to work.
Have a good day, Jackie. And don't forget, Jackie actually, Tangi is the caver's wife, but Jackie the caver has his own channel too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what is Shark Week? PMS. Sorry. I feel like it's much more flavorful to discuss it as Shark Week because isn't it the truth? And you know, like on your messenger on Facebook, there's like a whole set of stickers that are sharks, and they're all feminine. And I'm like, oh yeah, because you totally know what Shark Week is about.
Amanda said that her non-scale victory is that she's decided to give up coffee and French fries for the year. Wow.
Those are good luck to you. I will pray for you. My condolences. And if you can't do it, honey, it's okay. It is okay.
Yeah, I know French fries it's one of those things where you start and then the next thing you know, you're like, oh my gosh, did I eat this whole plate of fries? I'm sorry, I didn't share. Fries can be so dangerous.
And I am so sorry for those with the littles in the ears. I'm trying not to be inappropriate for them. So, sorry. Sorry if you guys explained Shark Week. But hey, we'll call it a biology. Or wait, is it? We'll call it a health lesson. Sibley,
no.
sir, you have poison ivy on your face, and no, dear, but I'm on the mend. Oh,
that's not good. I got poison ivy in my eye when I was a teenager. I looked like Quasimodo for a week. It was horrible.
That's crazy. So hey, you had a total non-skill victory, and I just have to put it out there because I know you're not talking about it. Can we just say good girl moonshine?
Oh yeah. Yeah, so I finally tried it because Trish was like, you really need to try some Good Girl Moonshine. I think you would like it. And I was like, I don't know. But Saturday I was doing some housework and I was like, you know what? I'm going to try it. I'm going to do it. So I looked up again the recipe for it. And I'm like, okay, I've got all the stuff. So I made it. I took a sip and I was like, you know, that's not bad. And so I drank the whole thing, and then I decided I think I'm going to have one a day for a week, and just to see, you know, if I notice a difference. And I do. I mean, it's Wednesday. I started Saturday, and I've had one a day. And I don't know, is it supposed to help with your energy level? Because I feel like it's helped with my energy level.
Well, there's a lot of different things it can do. One thing is the fact that I just do want to say, Mama Geek, I hope your baby girl is better. She has to take off and go pick up her daughter. Anyways, so you have the fact that the apple cider vinegar totally helps regulate your blood level. Plus, it's supposed to help you help flow out the fat and keep your cravings down and control your sugar cravings. And then the ginger has benefits, and lemon is a detoxer. So Good Girl Moonshine is coined by the Trim Healthy Mama community and authors and founders of that. But it is essentially like a tablespoon to 2 of apple cider vinegar with the mother in it, maybe a couple tablespoons or a quarter cup, whatever you prefer, of lemon juice, and some sprinkle of ginger, a pinch of ginger powder, and then or raw, however you want to do it. and then some sweetener of some kind that is not sugar. And then you mix that up, ice cold water, fill it up, and then own it. There's so many different ways. I make one that's kind of like a Hawaiian punch with banana extracts and strawberry extracts, and just really jazz it up. It has that tang for me that totally helps. I'm a soda addict, but this is nothing actually new. If any of y'all follow the Homesteader Network channels, Off Grid with Doug and Stacy had talked about the haymaker. So it's also called a haymaker, and it actually quenches your thirst and keeps you rehydrate because you're putting electrolytes in that you might be missing. It's also called a Switzel, is one of the original names. It's kind of an Amish, I think it's an Amish-based title or Swedish-based. It's called, I think, a Switzel, a Switzer or something like that. So it's nothing new out there, but the THM, Pearl and Serene, have done a really good job of kind of branding it as Good Girl Moonshine. And it's fantastic. It is probably my biggest saving grace for soda. And there's a lot of Pinterest recipes out there that tell you how to make everywhere from a Mountain Dew style. One of my favorite ways to do it, because I'm lazy and busy, is I really like the squirt stuff from Aldi's for your like Crystal Light style.
Oh.
So what I'll do is I'll get the different flavors of Crystal Light that I like, and then I'll get my quart jar. I'll put a splash of Switchel. Thank you, Amanda. Switchel. And Indigo's got me. And I'll put my apple cider vinegar. I'll put just a little bit of extra sweetener, and then I'll add my like Crystal Light juices. I know a lot of times that stuff has red dye and the wrong sweetener, but in a pinch it works and it helps me stay what I need. So and the Good Girl Moonshine recipes are all over Facebook. There's so many. I've made one that's like a pina colada that is to die for, and then I've had one that's like a key lime base. And you got to see Tangi's faces. They're classic.
That sounds so good.
They are. And you can, and really what it comes down to is you can add extracts and you can add juices, not like your apple juice or anything like that. But you can really just jazz up. And that is really my saving grace to not getting into soda, because Mama loves her soda.
I was a lady that I follow on Facebook. She was asking, she had posted that she had been drinking apple cider vinegar water, and she said, I'm really trying. I've been doing it for 8 days and I hate it. Do you guys have any recommendations? I'm like, Good Girl Moonshine. So, and then when there was this whole conversation about Good Girl Moonshine, and one lady even said, because she has really bad arthritis, that she even adds a little bit of turmeric, because turmeric is an anti-inflammatory. So she adds a little bit of that to her Good Girl Moonshines when she has them. So that was pretty smart.
That's what I really like about the Trim Healthy Mama, is the fact that they really get into like, hey, you got the stuff in your cabinet that will make you feel better. Let's use it. Yeah. And it's like, ooh, okay, we ought to do that. All right, so we have to make sure that we're staying on course. All right, we really got to talk about, so I know Tangi exercised. I'm a day late, but I did start my couch to 5K. I look like a moron running back and forth for 15 minutes on the back road. I'm just running back and forth with the dog, doing my couch to 5K. So, ooh, look at Indigo. She made oatmeal cookies for her daughters and didn't eat it. Good victory. Do you have to exercise? This is, okay, first, the precursor. Tangi and I are not fitness gurus, experts, certified in any which thing, not nutrition. We are just mamas like you in the trenches of peanut butter and jelly that read as can be, with that said. And I do want to talk about water bath after this, because I got to write that down because of something I read once. So things I've learned in the past few things in the days, and this, we're going to talk on it on a very common sense approach, is how many calories can you burn in an hour? I've always learned it's 100 calories per mile. So if you walk a mile, it's 100 calories you burn. If you run a mile, it's 100 calories you burn. So it just happens to change on the fact of how fast you burn those 100 calories. So say, for instance, I go walk, run 3 miles. I've just burnt 300 calories. Guess what, ladies? A Big Mac meal at McDonald's is over 500 calories. I cannot out exercise bad food choices. I know that there's people that get to a point where they're maintaining their weight that they literally work to do that. But when you're trying to lose weight, look at the numbers. You cannot out eat. You cannot out exercise what you eat. Andy had to go say goodbye to the man. So here she comes back. You cannot out exercise bad eating habits, bad eating choices. And, really getting into that thought. In order to lose weight, do you need to exercise? What's your thoughts? Knowing this, you cannot out exercise what you eat. So can you lose weight by exercising?
In my experience, obviously, I've already lost. I'm up to 14 pounds now? And I just did my first workout yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
But I know we're going to get more into this later. My reason for wanting to exercise, well, for one thing, I also have a 5K goal for this year, but also because you guys know that I playing hooky to say bye to that. Oops. Anyway, so yeah, you guys know that if you follow my channel, earlier this year, I hurt my back in the garden and I was out. I was on my back for a month, and I do not want that to happen again. So for me, it's not so much about helping with the weight loss, although I know it will help. But for me, it's more about strengthening my core so I don't throw my back out again.
Well, and that's, and by any means, I'm not saying not exercise. What I want to say is you cannot lean on exercise as your primary mode of losing weight. You're going to lose weight based on the kitchen. The exercise really comes into, in the long run, boosting your metabolism to run hotter. But you need to do that with food also. And it runs into being like that added bonus at the end of the year, not your weekly income, to put it in money terms. But I feel like exercise is about health. Losing weight is a side effect of your health. And I think that is important to acknowledge that it's about being healthy, not being skinny. It's about being fit. And right, Mama Cat, the first step is eating correctly. Bye, Amanda, at the Fundamental Home.
Bye, Amanda.
So, I feel like exercising is so important. It is what gets your lymphatic system. Now, if you don't know what your lymphatic system is, you have first is your pumping system, which is your cardio. Your lymphatic system is the garbage drain of your body. And the thing is that for your lymphatic system muscles to work, it's not like your arm or your bicep. What is that called? Like your passive muscles. Your body has to move. It has to be moving. Somebody's slightly underdressed for the day, so I have to hide him. The joys of small children. But in order to have your body flush, you have to move. It's involuntary action. So if you're not moving, you are not passing the waste products of your body out of your system. Because if anybody knows, if you have a great workout routine, you typically have a great movement afterwards.
I'm all about that,
And that has to do with the fact that you've allowed your body to use those involuntary muscles to make your waste in your body to leave. Sometimes we're carrying weight because we haven't disposed of the waste and eliminated our waste. And not to say that you should be abusing, by no means, medication in order to make that happen. That happens because your body moves. There's a lot of links that happen because of people getting cancer, and it has to do with the fact that they are not flushing their lymphatic system. Your lymphatic system needs you to move And it also needs you to drink water to be the vehicle that helps it flow out. Not to be disgusting, not to be, but this is the truth. In my opinion, exercise is for fun and to boost your mood so you make better choices in your kitchen. If you're happy, you are more likely to make good choices. Yes, I'm having the hardest time since I've moved here is my walking partner and I have not been able to meet up, so I haven't been walking. I will tell you 100% that I walk. I can walk 5,000 steps in an hour, and it's strictly the primary benefit is my mentality, my mental mentality. I can conquer the world. Thank you, because I exercise. And then it makes me make better decisions in the kitchen.
Yeah, Kay Rakowski, she said, if I exercise, I find I am more careful with what I eat. And it's true, because you don't want to, work your tail off and then turn around and mess it all up with a bad choice. You want to make it worth your while. But yeah, going back to the toxins in your body, we actually did kind of have a conversation about constipation on Mama Gets Fit. And one of the things that I wasn't aware of until just a few years ago is that if you are not regularly going, when that stays in your system, do you know what's happening?
It's decomposing and then releasing the garbage back into your system.
Yes, all of those toxins that are supposed to be going out of your body is leaching back in. So, and it's also not good for your inside of your intestinal wall, because all of that stuff will break it down and weaken your tract.
Faith Fries and Frappy. I live in Florida, and I'm going to be very honest. So I'm an hour and a half south of Tampa. The south, it's like Tampa and Orlando. There's a line here, and that's the subtropic line. I emotionally cannot go past that line in winter. Even though, like, I'm still in Florida, like if you were north of that line, you'd be like, I'm in sun. It is so not enough sun for me. I totally get seasonally depressed. I get depressed in too many overcast days, day after day. I become very sluggish. There's lamps. Number one, there's lamps for that you can buy. Number two, if you are stuck in the house, I cannot begin to express enough Leslie Sanson's walking the 5 mile walks, and you can find her on YouTube for free and watch her videos, because I've done that many times.
That was what I did yesterday, and it was really nice. I'd never done any of her workouts before, and what I really liked, the one in particular that I did, and I chose the 1 mile walk because, well, for one, I was busy yesterday and didn't have a whole lot of time, but for another, just getting back into exercising, I don't want to do anything that's so traumatic that I don't want to ever exercise again. So I wanted to kind of ease back into it. And that 1 mile walk was done in 15 minutes, and she stuck with the 4 same movements. She just, varied it just a little bit. And the tempo got a little more. So I would highly recommend, especially if you have arthritis, if you are limited in any way, but you can walk, you can step, I think you would really enjoy it.
Well, and you don't need a lot of room. The way she does it, it's simple. You're not confused trying to figure out what you want to do. Like, I like the whole idea of what was that stuff where you dance and you're kind of doing the Latin dance. I don't know what it is. I can't think. But I don't have the mentality. I don't, being back in the trenches of peanut butter and jelly, I don't have the extra mentality to figure that out. And sometimes it's just like, I need to get into the groove and do it and work through it. And walking is probably Zumba. Thank you, ladies. Zumba. I love the concept of Zumba. When maybe I don't have so many small children, I will have the mental capacity to do Zumba. I will have a lot of fun doing Zumba. But for now, in my little world, just getting that walk in is fantastic. And walking does so much. You move a lot of stuff. You're inducing the lymphatic, and almost anybody can walk.
Do you do dance breaks with your kids?
No. Go ahead.
We do that sometimes. We'll, I'll have the music on, and then, a fun, there's, I can't remember the guy that sings it, but the song that goes, Shut Up and Dance With Me. That's a really fun song. And the kids and I, we'll just get in here and we'll just be stupid and we'll be
I think
flailing our
because it
arms
has
around.
a cha-cha tempo.
Oh, I have no idea.
It has a cha-cha tempo on how you do it. I love the dance, and my husband and I are notorious for cutting some rug up. But having a lot of kids in a house that are typically too small and not having good systems, it just feels like another noise. And it breaks my heart that it feels that way, because we were like the radio's always on. It just feels like another noise. So we tend not to. But when we'll get in moods, we'll do it. But it's not like something we set time to do.
Yeah. Mama Cat asked, what is Zumba? Zumba is it's kind of like a high intense dance exercise. Spice. Yeah, and it's a lot of fun. I like Heather said, I only do Broomba with my partner, the dustpan. That's funny. Let's see.
Faith Fries, you are right. Andrea Mills, because I fangirl on her. I've been fangirling her since she had 80 subscribers. She has done a really cool little video where she recorded a walk, and then she fast played portions of it, slow played, and she does these lights on whether you run fast or you walk. And it's this cute little walk that's just simply amazing. So when her kids are locked up in the house because it's raining or something, they sit in front of the TV and then they run and walk and they see all these different things. It's really neat to watch. And then Indigo likes cardio kickboxing. Oh yeah, back in the day. Actually, I was a big stepper. I love step aerobics.
Yeah, a couple of people have said yoga is great. And I'm actually planning on doing yoga today. My goal is to alternate between Leslie Sansone and yoga. Now, I just want to be clear about something, because I've had this conversation with some of my Christian friends about yoga. I do not do the religion yoga. So just know that I am stretching. That's what I'm doing, is I'm stretching.
And building core strength.
Yes. Yeah. But I like yoga with Adrienne on YouTube. She has, I don't know, over 100, I think. But she has 2 different videos that I'm going to be going in between. She's got yoga for core strength and yoga for weight loss. So I'm going to be alternating between those. And then the days that I don't do yoga, I'm going to be doing the walking until it's nice enough to start going back outside.
So any of you find, like, when you watch our Mama Gets Fit, like, you have to have a notebook and you're writing notes? Because I'm not going to lie, I'm like making notes so that, like, with what Tangi says and what you guys say, I'm like, I got to write this down. Good stuff.
Yeah. The only thing with yoga, I was reading Southwind's comment, is I am so not coordinated, and I usually end up falling at some point, but I know that that's something that will improve the longer that I do it. But yeah, it's ugly. It gets ugly.
If that you can see me still. Okay, good. She's back. So gotta. You are a little administrator, Trish. It's a gift. I'm an administrator, really? Except for the day-to-day stuff. Give me the good ideas and I can think stuff out of the box. But I'll be honest with you, I have a hard time with the day-to-day administration stuff. And it totally helps that I do this show with Tangi. And I'm pointing down here because in my world, she lives right here in my screen. With Tangi, heart back. Because if I'm not held accountable with somebody, I kind of get distracted with life. Imagine that.
Yeah. Well, and on that same token, this is totally off subject, but I've told Trish 1,000 times when she sent me that fit planner, that fit tracker, I'm like, you created a monster, because now I'm like shopping, like I go somewhere, I'm like, oh, they've got planners. I want to go look at the planners. And yeah, but it's actually helped me get organized. I bought a little $3 planner at Dollar General, and I've been using it, and it's really helped me. So thanks.
Sodbuster, I have to tell you, that was like the best compliment ever. I do feel like Lucille Ball most of the time, and I can pretty much imitate her just distinct humor when in life. Totally. I hope Tangi doesn't mind being my Ethel, because
I don't mind being Ethel. I like Ethel.
Oh, all right. So what kind of, okay, so let's just be clear here. You should be exercising. You should be exercising so you can have your morning poop or afternoon poop. Just saying. You should be exercising because you got to get the stuff out in your, you got to get the garbage out of your system. You should be exercising because it is good for your brain. It's good for your emotion. You better be exercising because it's going to help build your metabolism back up. You better be exercising because it's going to build the muscles you need in order for you to have a wonderful longevity and higher quality of life as we age. You better be darn well exercising. And you better not be doing it because you think you need to lose weight. You better be exercising because it's good for you. With that said, so what are you doing?
Yeah, well, I mean, we've already touched on it. Right now, I'm doing yoga and the walking, but then when I get down to 179, and the reason why I put a weight on it is because, you know, you had talked about before, is it every 10 pounds? Is it 40 pounds on your joints? Is that
Every
right?
10 pounds is 40 pounds on your knees. And the last
Right.
thing you just talked to some of the older folks that have their knees that have gone out, and it's not something you want to mess around with. But here's something else that's important because you're fixing to talk about running.
Mm-hmm.
And my husband has always put like a limit on me. He's like, I don't want you, when I was younger, he's like, I don't want you running until you're under 170. Now that I'm older, he was like, I don't want you running until you're under 160. Mm-hmm. And for a while, I'm just like, you got to be kidding me. Seriously. But the reality is it's important. I actually ripped my MCL pretty bad. So I will begin feeling that rip from 15 years ago. Mm. And I broke my foot a couple years ago, and so I'll feel that again. And so you want to make sure you are not destroying your knees. And I'm doing the couch to 5K. So I've been walking. I've been a long time walker and getting into yoga. I really, not necessarily for the relaxation part, but I really want to build that strength that I can stand on my head. I know that sounds ridiculous, but that whole like where they're like this and they're straight up and they can move their legs. That's my goal this year. That is my thing. And then to run 5Ks. And I've ran 5Ks. MCL is the muscle. Yeah, it's the inside muscle in your knee I ripped and had to go to physical training for that. Let me just tell you, I did that 2 months before my wedding, and I had a whole foxtrot to fly me to the moon that one day I'll be able to share on Facebook, on YouTube, as soon as I get the video digitized, because it was awesome. But it had a little damper to that. But when it comes to running, women do not go into their prime, and their best years of running does not happen until after they're 40. Hello. So reality.
Here we come.
Yeah, it is. It's amazing because running is one of those things that you don't have to, it's not like you missed that season before you knew you should have that season. You know, a lot of times like, oh, I would have been great at this if I would have done this when I was 18, 20. But really, you could start becoming a runner after 40. And I'm not going to lie. I've been on several races. I'm not a fast runner. I've done a half marathon. I've done 5Ks. I have always been passed by the 80-year-old. They are like crazy. There's not very many of them out there participating. But if you can start running in your 40s, and you don't have to be fast, you don't have to be aggressive, be nice to yourself. Your physical stamina is going to be insane, and you're going to get the best joys when you're like those 80-year-olds passing a 25-year-old.
That'd be so sweet.
Sweet justice. So I have runner's knee because I ran too much as a teen. Did you know that could be a thing? I do know that's a thing, Faith.
What can I ask? What is that? What is that?
Well, essentially what happens, a lot of times this will happen for cross-country trainers and track trainers in high school. They will run so much. They'll wear down the cartilage in their knees. And, you know, it just comes down to, unfortunately, you know, you get these high school coaches and they're like, run, 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 run. The more you run, the better it is. And you're not always running in the best shoes because you're a high schooler and your parents are broke and you're wearing the same shoes, you know, and you can run through your knees, which actually then begins a better thing if you don't begin to run until you're later in life, because you can literally run through too much. Did I get that right, Faith Fries and Frappes? I hopefully explained it because I don't have it because my butt didn't even walk. I got banned from, I didn't walk. So, okay. Before, yes, that's what she did. She ran it away, just like that. And it's sad because my husband has good friends that they all did that and they ran out their knees and they can never run again. My husband was a wrestler, so it wasn't so bad. I was so against walking. So 15 years this month is the first time I went to a Weight Watchers meeting, is the first time I took intentional control of my health. And I didn't walk. I didn't exercise. I didn't run. I was so bad. I went to the University of Florida. It's a pretty big, it's almost half the town is the campus. And you have to take the buses and they have certain parking spots. And I'm from a place like we don't walk. And I got banned from parking on campus. Yes, I am. Yeah, I got banned. So you get your parking pass in May, and by Thanksgiving, my butt was not allowed to park on campus. I'm telling you, if they found me, I had a boot on my vehicle, and I had to go pay a ticket for them to come get it. It was notorious. I was towed. I was booted more than once. It became just like my normal experience that year. And what was really neat was that happened in November. My husband asked me to marry him in December, and I realized I didn't want to be a 175-pound bride. And I ran into somebody who did Weight Watchers, and that's why I chose Weight Watchers. And it worked out so good that here I start Weight Watchers, and yet I have to walk 1.5 miles into campus just to get to school. It became really beneficial for me that I got banned for parking on campus. I will tell you, it was definitely the best thing that happened to me that year. Well, besides getting married and being engaged, it was something I needed because I refused to walk. And when, I was quoted that it was Weight Watchers that my lymphatic system eliminated my waist, but I really think it had to do with the walking. In high school, I was the girl who took regional off-road who avoided the gym class. I don't like playing with others. Okay, I know that sounds awful. Tangi about lost her coffee. I'm gonna be honest, in gym class, I was not somebody who wanted to play with others. My favorite sports, bowling. That is a sport. I mean, because I can wear out my arm bowling. I love to bowl. I love darts, and I love pool. And I like horseshoes. Do you get like my sense of how I like to play on a team?
You like to stand in one spot and throw things.
I like to throw things. I never thought about it that way. I like to throw things. So my thing was, I just had a hard time with, it was already physically demanding, and then you have to play as a team and work in a team mentality. And I just personally prefer personal, like when I run, yeah, there's other people I'm competing against, but I don't have to work on a team. I mean, I like being social, but I don't want to work with you. I'm not a group project person. I need somebody to hold me accountable, but I don't want to work as a group. Well, that's enough about me. Let's just stop there.
See, I'm the opposite. I love team sports. Playing them, I was never like on an organized team, but one of my favorite things to do when I was in school was to play volleyball. I love volleyball. I stink at it, but I love playing it. In fact, when I would serve the ball, I would say, "Hello, I'm Tangi, and I'll be your server today."
Oh, aren't you just so classy?
Yeah. I keep hitting my cord.
Oh, that's okay. There's a new one here. I don't know. I'm sure it's been around forever, and it's just something new in my world. So I do like tennis, but again, you can play tennis as a single player, not as a team. Not sure if there's a theme there. And then there's a new one called pickleball. So it's like something new so it's somewhere between table tennis, it's just a smaller version of tennis. I like pickleball, don't like basketball. Again, probably because you have to play as a team. All right, so living like Claire, because remember now she's young. She's not having to be adulting yet. So that's how I'm going to categorize her as young. She really loves running, but I have to be careful because if I don't do my therapy for my knee pain, it messes you up. And it will. Be careful. Be careful. But I do want to encourage you, when you get to a weight that is going to be comfortable on your knees, to explore possibly running. And here's the thing. I like 5Ks. I like races. And I like races, not necessarily, I do like hitting and throwing things. I can't help it.
And with running, you do it by yourself.
It's a personal mental thing. I like the personal mental games. So the thing about doing races is the fact that you don't have to run them. You can walk them. You can speed walk them. It's enjoyable. As we get older, we're not going to have to fight so many people for placing. So sometimes just by showing up, you get a medal, depending on your demographics where that race is. But there's a really awesome energy that happens. And I do like running with others, Claire. It is fun. It is an enjoyable process. And usually there's great food and entertainment afterwards. Like my favorite 5K had to be in St. Augustine, Florida, along the water, like not the Atlantic, but all the oxbows that come in to it. And it was a Girl Scout 5K. At the end of the 5K, you got a box of Girl Scout cookies. Yeah. You also, their awards, it was my favorite. I don't even know if I still have it. They had made wooden circles, and they had different Girl Scout cookies as their awards. So the first place was the shortbread cookie. So it's carved out. And I had a friend with me who was a big time runner, and she's from Costa Rica. And she's like, you have the cookie with the it was the one with the chocolate and the coconut and stuff. She's like, I got the dumb Girl Scout heads. Why didn't I get a cookie? And I had to explain to her, like, that is a cookie, and that was their first cookie, hence it's the first place prize. But it was probably the most fun of a 5K I've ever had, and I did it with like 6 or 7 of my girlfriends. But I think they stopped doing it because I would totally drive 5 hours to do that one for my Girl Scout cookies. It's the only time I'd buy them.
Speaking of Girl Scout cookies, it is Girl Scout cookie season, y'all. That means those cute little girls are coming to your door with the charts.
I got a bat.
We had one that came the other day, and I bought a box of tag-alongs. And here's why. First of all, I bought one box. I usually buy 2. I bought 1. And I said to myself, I'm going to live my life. I like me a tag-along every now and then. You only get them once a year. So I bought the box. And plus, I have to share that box with 2 other people. 3 other people. Wow. Good morning. 3 other people. There's 4 people in our family. So, yeah.
Do you hide yours in the freezer?
No.
Okay, so mine is Thin Mints, and I swear they've gotten smaller and smaller. But I've always found I don't know what the new point system is on them, but I'd hide them in the freezer deep in the back so nobody can touch them, and then I'd go and take 1 or 2 and let them sit a little bit, and then I would have them.
My problem with Thin Mints is that I can't have 1 or 2. I will take a sleeve, and I would hide in the bathroom. And then I would Cookie Monster.
Oh, that's the truth. Hey, how's everybody doing with the aspect when we talked about, what were we talking about, speed eating last week? And I had told y'all, like, make sure you start consciously thinking, I don't need to put another bite in my mouth until I've swallowed what I have. How are y'all doing with that?
Yes, thank you for that, by the way. Because I think you had directed that toward me. Because
well, in that case.
I was like I was inhaling food during Christmas.
These girls are pretty darn funny. They're kind of hard to stay focused, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I'm on our Mama Gets Fit group because I need to tag Sodbuster in the constipation conversation. I'm trying to find it.
I know that I ran into that a few times this week, and during like the stress and the exhaustion of I was inhaling and taking bites before I had swallowed, which in course, you don't get there's no satisfaction in it. And I found, okay, so I did like start working on the rum cake, and finally I had to hand it to my husband And I just said, you have to finish this. I cannot know it's here. It has to go away. Because I found myself, I'm inhaling it. And it was enjoyable, but it was like, it's the sugar content. It was almost like an addictive
Like
inhale.
crack. Yeah.
It was. And it's like, it wasn't as good as the first bite. You know,
Right.
it just,
You know, and that's something too that I've noticed. Because, you know, I bought some frozen yogurt. The kids had some friends over for a sleepover, and we don't usually buy that kind of stuff, but I wanted something special because, you know, it was fun. And, you know, I checked my points, like how much is a serving, and a serving was a half a cup. Even with frozen yogurt, it was still high in points. I was kind of surprised. I think it was like 7 points for half a cup. But I had it, and I realized like the first 3 bites were great, and then the rest of it was just to polish it off. Like I enjoyed the first 3, and then the rest.
There is a Weight Watcher conversation that had to do with, to really taste and enjoy something, it takes 3 bites, and after that, you don't get it. You know, so the first 3 bites are the best of anything you eat, and then after that, it's not. What I find, like in the speed eating issue, is the fact that it's almost like what I have in my mouth, I'm always waiting for the next bite. I'm thinking about the next bite. I need the next bite. I need the next bite. You know, and so it's that psychological thing. It's not a like food, I need food thing. Is I want the next bite. I'm never happy with what I have and where I'm at. And really you start thinking about it, it's like, am I really dealing with something about being content and not about hunger? It's, you know, looking for that. It's the next, you know what I'm saying? Like you're kind of caught up emotionally about that next bite.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I want to see if anybody else feels this way. And this is off the subject of exercise totally. But what you were just saying about the next. Have you guys ever experienced the feeling when you go out to eat and you're getting ready to order, this slight tinge of fear that the food they bring you is not going to be enough? Like you're still going to be hungry? What is that about? They always give you more than when you
That is
eat.
McDonald's. Okay, that's McDonald's. Because McDonald's, I finally you cannot get full at McDonald's. McDonald's is designed to leave you willing to eat another round of fries. It does not fill you for nothing. And I think it's a marketing thing to keep buying. I don't know. I'm just putting that out there in my own humble opinion. And one of my biggest things for doing McDonald's was I finally had to tell myself mentally, we are here for a snack. We are not here to be full. And when I turn those gears on and I've trained my children that this is a snack, we were okay. But the reality is there's nothing in McDonald's that's a filler of health, to say the least. There's no real volume. You can order a salad, but then they cover the dressing in sugar and fat. Because sugar and fat is like the perfect combination of just addiction bliss.
Which is one of the reasons why Trim Healthy Mama is so awesome.
Right. Because a glazed donut is the perfect composition of fat and sugar. And there's something about that mix that just makes our brains just go, ha, 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 ha. And so the dressing is that way. So you can't even eat the dressing at McDonald's unless you know, the dressing will kill you. And it's like there's no fiber filling volume. There's just this, you know, and you just keep sliding it in. So I totally get that because it's like, ooh, is there enough? And then it goes back into that, are we really hungry or are we addicted to that feeling of our stomach being expanded and the pressure in our stomach giving us a sense of, oh, I'm content.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's why, because I feel that way, that fear of not eating enough when we go to a sit down place, knowing full well that they always bring you more than a stomach should be able to hold. But I think that's why when you do go to a sit down restaurant, you go home wanting to take a nap because you fill up so much.
I run into, here's a problem I have, and I did it at the Christmas party, is when I go somewhere nice and it's food I didn't have to cook It tastes so different from what I'm used to eating. And it's, for me and my peanut butter and jelly trenches, it is luxurious. And it's so luxurious. I just want to sit and eat and eat and eat and eat more, because I know I'm not going to get this again for about a year. And I tend to overindulge. So my husband got on me, but I'm like, but I ate good stuff and I could just eat as much as I want, you know, of this good stuff, because I'm eating these big salads and I'm eating this roasted vegetables and it tastes fabulous. And I'm just devouring I mean, ladies, I'm talking 12-inch plates 2 times. 12-inch plates, not an 8-inch plate, 12-inch piled high 2 times. And he's like, why this much? I'm like, because I can. But what's the reality? I was looking for that. I've expanded my stomach. I'm going to roll out of here. And yet, look, I'm so small and all I ate was vegetables. Wahaha.
Yeah. Living Like Claire says she finds that she eats less when she's with friends, more focused on the fellowship, and realize that she's not that hungry. Yeah. See, I have the opposite problem because I am a social eater. So there's nothing that I love more than to sit around and eat and talk and eat and talk. And that's a problem because I will talk while I eat. So then I'm not realizing how much I'm eating. And then also Angela Warner, she was asking about doing Weight Watchers for free. There's a video on my channel, Tangi the Caver's Wife, in my playlist called Wellness Wednesday. And the very first video is how I do Weight Watchers for free. You want to check that out?
Sorry, I lost my train of thought. I had 3 thoughts going on. I do want to say, like for Sodbuster, she's like, help, how do I know how much to eat? When it comes to knowing how much to eat, this is where I feel like Weight Watchers wins. Weight Watcher wins hands down to regulate how much you eat. So it's not necessarily the volume in which you eat. It's the quantity of the things you choose to eat. Mm-hmm. And so doing the Weight Watchers points, it really regulates, you know, do you want this big volume of this for 5 points, or do you want this little tiny piece of chocolate for 5 points? Because I think Tangi had a whole episode of the serving size for some chocolate killed her.
Yes. I have it in my desk. And here's why. Because I'm proving to myself that I am in control. But my sister-in-law every year for Christmas gives us these gourmet chocolate bars that they sell at I think they sell these at Aldi. Or this is Lindt. But it's a touch of sea salt. And I'm like, oh, well, I'll have some. It can't be that bad. For 4 squares, it was like, what did I tell you? 14 points, something.
It was half a day's food.
Crazy. Yeah, it was a half a day's of my thing. So, but all that's gone is those 4 squares. And I've had this since Christmas.
Because you get into the aspect of like, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. So why Weight Watchers?
Exactly.
Why Weight Watchers works better for me than Trim Healthy Mama. I have no self-control on volume. I like that feeling of my stomach exploding. I do. I'm sad to say I do. I mean, I feel halfway embarrassed to be like, I like the feeling that my stomach's going to explode inside me. And when I feel that way, I feel good. I feel satisfied. And if my stomach doesn't feel like it's going to pop like a balloon, I'm not good. And I come to realize all the abuse I've done to my body has caused me to no longer have the knowledge of when enough is enough. So because of that, I can abuse Trim Healthy Mama. Hence why I will not lose weight, because I want to consume as much as humanly possible, because I'm an overeater. And when I do Weight Watchers, it keeps me in check on what's the appropriate quantity. And if I know how much I'm getting to begin with, I'm satisfied. So it has nothing to do with my body. It is all my brain. It is the abuse that my brain and the history my brain knows and my mind knows on what I do to overeat. Right. And I know I'm not alone.
No, that's exactly why this whole year with me eating whole foods, I wasn't losing weight. And that's what, when I came to you that day and I'm like, I just don't know what to do. And you're like, are you writing down what you're eating? No, I ain't going to be one of those people. That's why I've changed how, that's why I eat whole foods, so I don't have to do that. And you're like, I think you should.
Okay, tell me how that goes.
Yeah. Well, tell me how that's working out for you. But yeah, and I mean, here I am, 14 pounds later, I'm still eating whole foods. But, and another thing too, the reason why I like Weight Watchers is because nothing is off limits. So since we have a very small food budget, we eat a lot of carbs. I can have carbs, but I know how much I can have. That's why I like Weight Watchers.
Mama Cat, let's talk about starvation. Starvation is a huge problem. I got a video. I'll stick it up here after the fact. And if you do not eat, your body will go into starvation mode if you're not eating enough. So if you're doing Trim Healthy Mama, and it tells you to be careful not to do fuel pull, fuel pull, fuel pull. If you're not giving your body fuel, then it feels like, oh my goodness, we need to hoard everything we have just in case we don't get food again. So when you do eat and you eat the appropriate amount, your body will grab that fuel and turn it into fat just in case we go through this again. And it's almost like the spiral yo-yo diet issue that they warn about. Doing these crash diets will kill your system because you have not ate. So it's absolutely positively important that you are eating regularly, you are maintaining, and you're not hoarding your fuels. And this is actually, thank you, Saad. It's like you knew what we were going to next week. Next week, we're actually going to talk about the fact of hoarding your fuel. Not hoarding your points, not hoarding, but hoarding your fuels. Because if you're not continually fueling your body's going to think, we got a problem. Do not get rid of anything. We need this because we're fixing to go into lean times. What you have to do is train your body to constantly eat. And we're not talking about, and it doesn't have, just always make sure you have protein. If you want just the quick gut through way of doing it, make sure you're eating protein every 3 to 4 hours, even if it's a piece of cheese, even if it's an egg. Make sure you're having protein. A lot of times with those cheese or that eggs, you're having a little fat with it, or you have a little carb with it. And I guess this is kind of Trim Healthy Mama thinking on this. But if you're not up for doing Weight Watchers and doing your points or counting your calories, just make sure you eat protein, and then make sure it's paired up with a little fat or a little carb, and let your body know that it can predict. And when your body begins getting used to having that fuel every few hours, it will understand that, hey, we're not in starvation mode. Our metabolism can kick back up. And that's why I said exercise will help your metabolism, but first and foremost, eating food will help your metabolism.
Yeah, and I want to go back up to what Living Like Claire was saying up a little bit. She said, whenever I eat too much, I feel like a failure, but I've been so happy with getting in control. Water is key for me. Me too, girlfriend. I mean, that's what I think the second conversation, not second conversation, but like my second weigh-in with Trish before we started Mama Gets Fit. I told her, I said, I finally feel like I have the tools to get the job done. And I feel like I'm in control, and it really does feel good. It's very empowering.
Very. So I told you earlier about water, and somebody had asked what the water is key for. And let me tell you this. I read the Dr. Atkins book 10 years ago. You know, I wanted to read it. And there was something there that really made a huge impression on me that I kept forever. So if you want to go back and read the old little paperback book, that's where I got it in the intro. Is the fact when fat is burned in your body. So when fat is, we're going to talk, remember folks, we did chemistry or some kind, and there's 3 phases of anything, and it's solid, liquid, or gas, right? When fat stores in your body, it is in the solid state. You are not pooping your fat out. You're pooping your toxics, you're pooping your leftovers. You don't poop fat out. I got to put it out there. I'm sorry if you got it on speaker. You can't poop your fat out. What happens when your body uses the solid fat in your body? It either turns it into a gas or it turns it into a liquid, depending on how it burns. I don't know the science behind that aspect, but it's one of those 2 things via Dr. Atkins. And when your body burns it, if you are not drinking enough fluids, you're not allowing it's like cleaning the porch off with a hose. You need that water to move it out. You need that water to help the liquefied fat to flush through. Otherwise, all you're doing is fat depositing in your colon, kind of sort. So so the more you're peeing, literally is fat leaving your body. The other thing, and when we got back into last week about fluffies, when you have your fluffies and your stinkies, if you might notice, they are, especially when you start losing weight, the things we do not talk about, but they are ferocious. Tangi is covering her face. She's like, I have not talked to you about this. Which, yes, I know what you're talking about. They are ferocious. And my husband usually it's like really intense when you're really dropping the weight. Some of that is your body regulating out to the amount of vegetables you are now eating that it's not used to. And the other part is you are just burning fat. And so whenever my husband is like, oh my goodness, you stink, I'm just like, baby, that is fat leaving my body.
Oh, yeah, it's just exhaust. That's all it is. It's exhaust.
This is called good stuff. But I was always, that like 10 years later, that has always stuck with me when I read Atkins, is that you are not going to poop your fat out. So every time you poop, don't think you've just lost a pound of real fat. You just lost a pound of waste you were carrying around. You are going to pee and fart it out. And most likely you're just going to pee it out. And it has to be liquefied, and you need the transportation system of water to help get it through your system and get it out and help it keep moving. And it goes right back there to the lymphatic system. If you don't believe me, just read Dr. Atkins' books. You'll go to sleep.
Huh. That's interesting. I didn't know that.
You didn't know that? Yeah.
No,
I mean,
that you pee it out. I thought it all came out.
The back end.
Yeah.
You pee and fart it out.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
But, just a little chemistry there to enjoy the things. Of course, I'm not a nutritional expert. This is just the junk I read over the last 10 to 15 years of just humor. So, for your enjoyment, of course. Make a poo spray out of essential oils to spray in your bath toilet before you go. There's recipes on Pinterest. Mama Cat, to be honest, it's not really the bathroom visits that stink. It's the joy of, the late night, I'm going to cover my husband up with a blanket.
Oh, no, you Dutch oven your husband? That's so mean.
Is that what it's called?
It's called Dutch oven, yeah.
Totally Dutch oven. This is why you get married. You get married so you have the love of a man to inflict meanness onto.
Oh, my goodness, that's so funny. Amy Fuel, you came in at a really fun time.
That's right. You're hourly losing weight. Fat leaving my body. That's all it is. Oh my goodness. So we covered it today, and we are past time.
Yeah. But it was a good conversation, though.
It was a good conversation. I look forward to, so this week on Yes, Claire, what you're looking for is a best friend. It doesn't matter actually if you have that feeling of in love, because God can give you that as you intentionally love them. But it's finding somebody you can get along with and enjoy and have humor and work well with. That is the perspective of marriage. So Claire asked, an interesting perspective of marriage. That's what you look for. You look for somebody you can work, play well with, and have a good time and have a good laugh. And then you can learn to love them later. That's my theory. I don't feel like love is that's a whole other discussion. We won't get into that. You can learn to love anybody. Oh, we covered it. Okay. So this week, keep posting your photos in the Facebook group, but also let us know what you're doing for exercise. Maybe catch a few selfies. Mine's going to be being drugged down the road by the dog. Catch a few selfies on what you're doing, or post some pictures so we got something good to see and inspire each other on what to do.
Absolutely. And you guys are totally rocking the Mama Gets Fit group. We are having such a great time. There's been a lot of, like Trish was saying earlier, just times where you kind of feel like you're crying with everybody. And then there's times that we can laugh. And I really am enjoying the victories, sharing the victories with you guys, no matter how small they are. One step closer is one step closer. And we are not going to downplay it whatsoever, because for a lot of us, it is a very hard journey. A lot of it we have to overcome emotionally and mentally, not just physically. So even if you think, oh, I want to tell the girls, but I think it's kind of silly, don't hold back. Let us celebrate with you, because I feel like that's the cool thing, is like we're all in this together. Not to sound like a Disney movie, but you guys are awesome, and I really enjoy getting on Mama Gets Fit and seeing whatever it is that you guys want to talk about. So just like Trish was saying, if you worked out and it's like the first time you've ever worked out, or you actually got to complete a workout, take a picture of your sweaty mug and post it on the Mama Gets Fit group, and let us be your cheerleader.
Right. Let us be your cheerleader, because we are here for that, even if it's just, you know, happy faces and likes and stuff like that. Yeah, our crew on Facebook is pretty darn amazing. I did kind of mess up last week, and I got to go back and fix it. But we will be posting the image for everybody to upload their Wellness Wednesday video there. So make sure you're just putting it in that spot, so we can all watch everybody's Wellness Wednesdays that they're gathering, and their journey that they're doing, and what they're learning from coming to the group and being on Facebook. And then I will be starting the January 2017. Does that not sound weird out of your mouth?
Weird.
2017 playlist, which will be good. But we're going to close up in prayer. So if you got anything you want to throw in there, we're definitely going to add Mommy Geek TV, since she's got a sick baby girl.
Yes, you do, Mama Schmooze. She says she needs to join our Facebook group. Yes, you do.
And Mama Schmooze, you just hopped in, right?
She's been on for a couple of minutes.
Okay,
She caught us at the end.
She's another YouTuber. That she's homeschooling hauls, thrifty DIYs and stuff. So make sure you get over there and subscribe to her also. Did anybody new come in that we didn't get in? Banana Grandma. Make sure you're subscribed to Bandana Grandma. Also. Just make sure that, check everybody out and see. And you can do that just by hovering over their name. Their name. All right, so we got an ankle replacement. Wow, we got some people. We got thyroid issues. I got to write some of these down. Unspoken. We have broken.
Yes, Mommy Geek says, pray for me. I'm facing emotional eating. This is a struggle I am going to get through. Absolutely.
Amen. I'm right there with you. Emotional eating. A friend of mine, for him to realize God has forgiven him. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Amen to that. I did a really good video, and it's one of those things that God just stuck it on my heart. And it's just you're never going to be good enough, but you're good enough. You do not have to earn that forgiveness. It is such a gift and blessing. All right, I'm definitely going to include praying for those of us that are speed eaters. Yeah. All right, so next week, 8:30, be here or be square, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I keep having Back to the Future quotes hop in my brain as I've been doing stuff, and I'm I had one. I was like, think, McFly, think. Seasonal depression, amen. What's sad is here it is literally 85 degrees hot, getting hot, and I'm like, yay! I'm not getting depressed. There's no overcast days. This is gonna be great. And I'm just but come this summer, it's going to be horrible because I've yet to cool off. Hubby's depression's bad, amen. Oh, depression is so hard. And sometimes I'm doing the postpartum and feeling like you don't have, but sometimes I really feel like you make sure you're getting your micronutrients. Binge eating is an issue. It's the biggest struggle. Yes. Again, find your micronutrients. I like the green powders, getting your greens in. I like the chocolate one the best. I actually sometimes mix that up with my coffee. And I really think sometimes we are binge eating and we're falling into depression because, in my humble opinion, we are missing some key nutrients, and it's kind of a convenient, easy way to get it. Just got 12 inches of snow. Bless your heart. Bless your heart. All right, there we go. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for just another blessed day of community and fellowship around the world while being isolated in our homes. Lord, you have given us such a blessing of this technology to just realize our mission fields here at home and in the life of motherhood can feel isolating, can feel alone. But the reality is we are one of many in the army of this mission, in this service. And you've given us the blessing that our mothers and grandmothers didn't have, just by having the technology to come together in a live chat, Lord, live chat. Just getting with people we would never have had the blessing or opportunity to meet, Lord. You also give us the blessing of the technology to be in a social dynamic that allows us to share as though we are sitting at a round table or on the couch around the coffee table, having a chat when it best fits us. Lord, you have blessed us with so much by coming together and sharing the knowledge you have provided us and given us the ability to build off each other, to be encouragement. Lord, you are always filling our community with encouragement, with just wonderful, godly women that are seeking you. Lord, be with those that are in pain, that are dealing with thyroids and broken legs and ankles and just ankle replacements. Lord, do you know the toll that we've done to this vessel and our lack of maintenance, dear Lord? And you also are the great physician that heals, dear Lord. Let it be within your will that we are brought back to use this vessel in a way that makes you proud, that will be of a blessing to our time here on earth as we are in your will. Dear Lord, help us as we deal with our vessels and controlling our emotional eating, dear Lord, and our speed eating. Lord, that's not a part of our vessel. That is our place of being content, dear Lord, and finding ourselves to be conscious with what we have, Lord. Help us. Lord, be with those that are dealing with the seasonal depressions as we are missing the key elements for our vessel to work right. Dear Lord, help us find the sunshine we need, the vitamins we're missing, and the knowledge to know what to do. Dear Lord, help us as we have family members that are in depression, but Lord, be with those that have those family members in depression. Lord, it can feel almost hopeless in a state, and yet we're not the one that is ailing, but to have to learn to live around those that are ailing can be just as much of a struggle, dear Lord. Help us for those that fight the binging, Lord. Lord, I feel like when you warned us of gluttony, you weren't warning us of the fuels of fat or the fuels of carbs. You were warning us of the dangers of sugar, dear Heavenly Father. And just to help us be able to just get through our pantry and provide for our families the way we need to without becoming a hindrance into our own health, Lord. Help guide us. Lord, there's those that struggle with forgiveness. There's those that struggle to know that you have given us something called mercy and grace, dear Lord. Lord, let those who do not know you know about the love and predictability that you are, and the fact that you knew we would never be good enough to enter your kingdom. And you knew that there had to be an ultimate sacrifice in order to let us be in fellowship with you. And you did it with the most loving way and the most sacrificing way with your son. As mothers, we know the pain that would be associated with losing one of our children, and yet you did it for the love you have for us, Lord. Thank you for the gift that we can never earn. Thank you for the fact that you give us your son to die for our sins so that we can have everlasting life with you. Lord, thank you for connecting us to fellowship, and let those that are with us that do not know your saving grace to find somebody local to be in fellowship with, to come and know you more. In your son's precious name I pray. Amen. All right.
Amen.
All right, you guys. I'm feeling like a little bit like, oh, that was a deep prayer. I needed that today. All right, we are going to sign off. I hope to see you on Facebook for those that are on social media. And remember to, if you're not on social media and you're doing a Wellness Wednesday, it has to say Wellness Wednesday in the text of the title, and just send me a comment down here and let me know that you have one so I can go look for it. And I need to finish up last week's too. Amanda, I hope all your blood work goes good and you stay healthy in that pregnancy.
Mm-hmm.
We will talk to you later.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.